Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and today we're highlighting a case that began in Fairfield, Alabama. In August 1980, a mother of an infant disappeared from her home under circumstances that still feel impossible. She was last known to be seen on Friday, August 1st. By the next morning, her baby daughter was found alone, unclothed, and crying on the floor inside a house that was locked. Investigators learned there was a strong chemical odor in the home, fresh stains on the carpet, and a bedspread missing along with her keys. But there was no sign of the woman herself. Now, more than 40 years later, the answer to what happened that night remains unknown. This is the story of Emmetta Jean Dumas. Emmetta Jean Dumas was 32 years old in the summer of 1980. She had black hair and brown eyes. Emmetta worked as a secretary at Alabama Power Company in Fairfield. She had an infant daughter with her estranged husband, Leroy. Before Leroy, Emmetta had been married to a man named Warren King. Despite the divorce, they remained in contact. Friday, August 1st, 1980. Emmetta had plans that day with Leroy, her estranged husband. They were going to buy shoes for their baby daughter. Later that evening, Emmetta had dinner plans with Warren King, her first husband. The following day, Saturday, Emmetta was scheduled to go shopping with her mother and sister. It seemed like an ordinary weekend. According to Leroy, he picked up Emmetta and their daughter around 6:30 that Friday evening. They drove to Roebuck Shopping Center, then went to Brookwood Village where they purchased baby shoes. Afterward, they stopped for hamburgers on Green Springs Highway. Leroy says he then drove Emmetta and the baby back to her home in Fairfield. He claims he stayed for 20 to 30 minutes and that they didn't argue. Leroy says Emmetta told him she was having dinner with Warren King later that evening. Then he left. Warren King was waiting for Emmetta that night. They had made plans, but Emmetta never arrived. Warren tried calling her again and again. No answer. He kept trying throughout the night, hoping that she would pick up. By 6:30 the next morning, Warren had given up. Saturday morning, August 2nd. Emmetta's sister arrived at her home for their planned shopping trip. Emmetta's car was in the driveway. The house was locked. Her sister managed to get inside. What she found was concerning and raised immediate questions. The infant was alone, unclothed, crying on the floor. There was a dirty diaper nearby, an empty feeding bottle, and no sign of Emmetta. As Emmetta's sister moved through the house, she noticed a strong chemical odor. She thought it smelled like ether. There were also fresh stains on the carpet, and something else was missing: the bedspread from the home. And Emmetta's keys were also gone. Police arrived and started processing the scene. The carpet stains were tested. The results came back negative for blood. But no one ever publicly explained the chemical odor, and the missing bedspread was never accounted for. The locked house only deepened the mystery. If the doors were locked, how did Emmetta disappear? Leroy was the last known person to see Emmetta alive. What happened after that remains a mystery. Leroy has never been publicly named a suspect. Warren King has never been named a suspect. No suspect has ever been publicly identified. Many details in Emmetta's case have never been made public, and the case has received limited mainstream media attention. What follows are questions investigators have never been able to answer. What really happened after Leroy left Emmetta's home that night? More than 40 years have passed. No remains have been found, no arrests have been made, and no suspect has ever been named. Emmetta Jean Dumas' case remains unsolved. Our thoughts are with the family and friends of Emmetta Jean Dumas. If you have any information about this case, contact the Fairfield Police Department. Their contact information is listed in the description below. As we close out this episode, remember that sharing Emmetta's story helps keep her case from being forgotten and supports her loved ones' efforts to find answers. For updates on this case and others, follow Hunting for Answers. You can also connect with us through our Facebook group and find us on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And reach out to us if there's a story you think should be highlighted on Hunting for Answers. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows. Stay connected with our community by joining our new Facebook group. The link is in our bio.